Do you want to play a fun hero while having lots of kills and not griefing everyone? Today I'll show you how to actually play sniper support, not going for Maelstrom and still getting amazing impact during the game. Hello everyone, today I want to talk about my highest win rate hero, Sniper. I think he's actually a very good support, but widely hated because people are playing him completely wrong. Having almost 70% win rate with the hero in 10k MMR bracket, I think I actually found the best way to play him, which is different than what most people do. To understand how Sniper can be a support, let's first look at his base stats. He's got very low damage and move speed, but on the other hand highest range in the game with his innate 710 and decent base armor. Base stats themselves don't make him good, no, but what we will be working today with is Scattershot facet, and this is the only reason why this build is viable. Yes, if you want to pick Sniper for right clicks and build Maelstrom, I can already tell you it's a bad support. For that, you're better off with Windranger or even Hoodwink. The only thing that makes this hero strong is Scattershot facet and playing around burst damage, and I can tell you, it's not only fun to play, but also really strong in the right games. This makes you one of the best burst heroes in the entire game, and I mean that. Level 1 you will have almost 300 damage burst with a slow, and at level 7 it goes up to 900. On top of that, it slows massively, and with your ultimate you can deal over 1200 damage at once. This is more than Hoodwink does, and way simpler to hit than Snapfire's combo, and this is what we will be playing around. This is the baseline for you. Shrapnel is very strong, so any kind of setup for it is fine. You generally love to play with vision heroes or the ones that will go in and can miss some damage. Treant is the dream support for you, so is Tusk, and out of course anything like LC, Mars or Axe can work. Generally, you don't require much to work with. The only bad games you will have with this build are the ones that everyone is afraid to go in. Because you have huge burst, I suggest you actively look for a first blood. A really efficient way to do it is to start 3 at your safe lane, considering you're likely to play as position 4, but if you're a position 5, you can start at the off lane. With grenade and some right clicks, you're capable of dealing over 500 damage within few seconds, and that means Sniper is a first blood machine. After that, you need to recharge your shrapnels. In the end, using them casually will mean you're capable of being gone on, so keep that in mind and either save them up for burst or make sure enemies are low enough they cannot approach you or your creeps. This also means you are not meant to spam shrapnels to secure creeps, unless you obviously hit enemies with it. What you can do in meantime though is abuse the fact you've got the best attack range in the game, so just keep right clicking. While damage isn't that high, Headshot level 1 adds 8 damage on average, making you a pretty good right clicker even with no items. Any melee hero will hate you, I promise. Again, keep in mind if you actually get going on, you're in danger, so you need to kite a lot during the laning stage, while keeping attacks on enemies. On average, as I said previously in the Windranger guide, you should be top 3 hero damage around 5 minutes, and with this hero, it's even easier. Remember, as long as you keep hitting enemies, your core will have easy time playing the lane, and I can guarantee you, if you play that way, you will win games. The best way to win the laning stage as support is to harass, not to pull or stack. Your shrapnel scales really good and your movement speed is quite low, so generally you don't want to rotate too early, at least while walking. TP stroll rotations are different though, because as long as you save up the shrapnels like you're supposed to, you offer a huge burst of damage that enemies are not expecting. Keep that in mind. Another thing about your build is that you don't need a single item to make it work, so you can basically afford to get whatever your team needs. No, usually not phylactery. Spending so much gold early on bonus 150 burst is usually not the play. Other than Tranquil boots, I suggest getting some raindrop for mana, maybe a clarity, and then it's up to you. Skill build is pretty simple. You max Q, then W, then your E. Abuse headshot a lot, and then just make sure you're not caught in the middle of the fight. there's never a reason for that, as you don't need to be close to deal damage. After that, game becomes very easy in terms of map play. You are damage, you need control. Pair up with any control hero, smoke up, get kills. Repeat. This is very easy, there's no hidden tricks. You are killing support with huge amount of damage, so once you have 2 or 3 shrapnels, find the target and just snipe him. Again, if you're farming with this hero, you're playing a wrong one. The only exceptions are when the lanes are heavily pushed or your shrapnels are restoring. Depending on the map situation, in that case you should farm up if enemies are alive or push objectives if you just killed them. I think a lot of hate for sniper support comes from the fact this hero is widely misunderstood in that role. It's not a greedy 4 that will outfarm enemies, but rather a dream plus 1 for every setup hero, as long as you understand how to value your spells and mana. With these things in mind, I can guarantee you that getting kills will be so much easier and nobody is going to flame your pick after the game. With that in mind, when sniper support can be bad? Basically, in games where you have no control or enemies can just sustain through your burst, somehow. For every kill you should bring enough heroes so it's possible for you to get them, but in some games it will be hard. For that reason, I suggest if you want to pick sniper support, you first see what your other support picks. If it's a control type of a hero, you're good to go. As a general rule, you want to have a stun between both supports, and in sniper's case, it's even more important. As with the Treant, I made an in-game guide for the hero, so generally good items are: Aghanims allows you to have bonus stun duration and quicker cast time. Drums, Solar and especially Force Staff are your preferred choice of support items for your team. Remember, you're playing around burst, not right-clicking enemies, so any Maelstrom or other damage items are quite bad, and you can only go for them if you're really snowballing. Other than that, you just make sure you have mana to use your spells, but usually you don't need arcane boots for that. Tranquils are way more movement speed to cost efficient. The only core item of this build is the shard. It does fix most of your problems. Low mobility, being able to get bursted before you get them, and even more damage on top of that. It's a great tool to have, and you should aim to get the item ASAP, I think as your second one, just after the support item of your choice. Sniper support is really fun, it just has to be played in a certain way to get best out of it. Believe me, if it works in 10k MMR, it will work in lower MMR pubs as well, as there's less coordination and focus on getting you. Just stick to the principles I talk about in the guide and suddenly, after the game, everyone will commend you. Thanks for watching, let me know in the comments how much you hate me for posting this, and as always, see you